Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Now, like I said, I like to use things out of my own life to, give examples of how I work differently, more completely than most of your governments do. Okay. I won't say that the theoretical Illuminati, the great bankers of the world, whatever, that sort of thing. I won't say that they didn't at least at some prior time give that much thought into what they're doing. At this point in time, I would have to say otherwise, because they basically killed their planet and they don't have any place to go. And if it weren't for an idiot like me, you wouldn't have anything. It's even a possible choice really to do anything, because you're so disorganized you wouldn't even begin to know where to start. Now, I've been openly declaring my creation of the International Space Station. Yes, footnote. I got, you can't quite tell because I have this on a close frame, but I've got cement walls. I'm actually dug into a hillside here. There's 2 stories of brick above me, but if you walk up the little side street, and I'm probably at least like half to 3/4 dirt against my side walls and my back wall there. I'm pretty certain there's nothing but dirt. So it does osmosis or whatever, moisture in from outside in here, and it keeps it moist. It's warming up. The place I left before had a huge amount of mold. Very bad. Luckily none of it was black mold, it was just every other color of the spectrum. Oil of oregano, garlic, and colloidal silver have helped me keep this issue under control as I get all of this moldy stuff cleaned up and out of here. Kind of interesting. Anyway, just a footnote there for you people that need to know a good solid antibiotic against all of the extremely crazy and bizarre stuff that's going on out there. Those 3 are pretty good still. How long they stay good, who knows. Anyway, like I said, I created this International Space Station in 1983. And I had to devise something simple enough that it looked like a little kid sent it, so that it could explain away the fact that there was, no return addresses, no last names, no city, no nothing anywhere to lead directly back to it, okay? But at the same time, I had to be intense enough that they would just pick it up and start running before they would think about what it was. Now, like I say, you got currently 15 countries involved. The United States, which is totally fascism right now, cannot have the freedom example in there, up there in space. So they're exiting. Okay, now, at least 14 other countries that are financially involved in this. And based on the very easy psychological assumption and sociological patterns, governments are paranoid enough that nobody trusts each other enough for anybody to have gotten a bomb up on the International Space Station. There might be one parked, 1,000 meters off to one side as a satellite somewhere, and nobody in the space station knows that there's actually this bomb or missile over there. But the International Space Station itself, because of all these countries involved, couldn't really do anything with it. Now I have opened up phase 2, which is where I'm saying, okay, we have this. I have understandings, ideas, technologies, and possibilities of stuff that we can immediately start implementing and doing, creating a fleet of shuttlecraft going up into space, carrying people up there, carrying tools and supplies, get a platform built within a year or 2. And as we're up there building, those people are continuing on out to do more stuff and do more research and get a moon base started right away. Okay, I'm talking about you could actually, theoretically have probably, 100,000 plus people employed in just getting stuff up to the space station, on the space station, and getting stuff over and moved to the moon to start utilizing that. Okay, so in a year to 18 months time, something like that is actually considerably feasible, given what governments have done when they want to go to war. Think about that. Okay? They want to start a war, no problem. They can instantly take the entire country and turn it into a war machine. December 7th, 1941, the big bomb. And what was it like, 6 months later, were we out there knocking the snot out of Japan? Now, there is some theories of hanky-panky and stuff like that to consider. But remobilizing, retooling all of your airplane industry, all of your automotive industry, most of your manufacturing, and all of that in a matter of months. Oh, it can't be done. It can't be done. Ah, it's a war. Let's do it. Boom. Everybody does it. Okay, so it can be done. There's no illogics there at all. It is a proven fact that the human race can do that. Okay, so we have the International Space Station, which has got 14 plus countries involved, because there's lots of little countries. It flies over everything, so there's other countries that would probably have people dreaming about having something to do with it. And you have this whole entire situation going on. Okay, then you have this whole entire mobility of function, of product, that is also adhered to it, that can be extremely life-saving to those humans that are on this planet, and any reasonable amount that wants to get off. And then we have my democracy system, which enables the idea that we don't do something to go kill people. We do something because it's scientifically and humanitarian and planet intelligent wise considered. Okay? You get a bunch of kids up there on the internet. Damn. Yes, I shouldn't be talking. Up there on the International Space Station. And they're all doing their thing. And the first thing that goes on, and first of all, you got to understand, no, there's not going to be an instant transformation, for the simple fact that our children now are being taught to be dumb. They're being taught not to ask questions. They have to go through some kind of understanding and training and thinking for themselves of something other than having an Apple iPhone in their hands and blabbering away, chit-chatting, that there is their real world, is they're really doing something, is really being involved. And there are examples of this all over the country, of kids getting up and raising their voices against the NRA, against big oil, against corporations and problems and issues all over the place, okay? So it is happening. There are intelligent kids out there. Getting a functional system running takes time, and getting all these kids aware that they're now going to be the ones who are going to sit there and say, no, Mr. Trump, you don't tell us that we can only learn to read and write enough to run the factories. You are going to allow us, because we're in control, to read and write so that we can devise our own companies and our own ideas and our own places to go. We're not going to allow Monsanto to make GMOs, because that's going to destroy our future, even though Monsanto is an imaginary corporation and shouldn't have a voice in the first place. Okay, it should be following rules which say you don't destroy your ecosystem. You might want to do something fun and different, and let's face it, you took your dog and breeded it with the guy or the girl's dog down the road or something like that. You're genetically manipulating stuff. You try and breed a Chihuahua and a St. Bernard, and you're going to get something weird because they're near compatibility genes, but they're pretty different dogs, okay? So you're still playing with genes, but you're not doing it as bizarrely as what Monsanto and stuff is doing. So there's going to be a whole different function of what's going on. Now, think about this. 1970, I've got the government system that is as low a level of corruption as possible, is a functional, keep it in your face, alive and awareness system as possible, and as forward thinking as possible, because there's not a bunch of kids, I mean, it's not a bunch of old men who have been fighting wars that their ancestors fought and they have no clue why they're doing it other than the fact that that's what their daddy did. You know, it's like saying, hey, my daddy's a fireman, so I'm a fireman. Okay, fine. There's nothing wrong with you being a fireman. But there's an awful lot wrong with the idea that you didn't even look at anything else that you might be curious about. You're curious, go look. There's not a problem. And, you know, you get a 90-year-old person in Congress, a bunch of fools sitting around chatting away about how much money they can steal. Yeah. They are more interested in doing damage than anything else. They don't care. They don't have to. And they don't think logically. They don't think forward. They think back. They think about what their daddies did and their whatevers did and all that. So putting kids in, they got 4 years, they get booted out, never to return to politicians. So you don't have a government that is rooted in the past. You have an ever-thinking, ever-changing system. Now, what do you need out there in space right now? You need a thinking, cooperative system. 14 nations at least working together. The youth, who have the most desire to keep themselves alive because they have the most to lose by the fact that they're, you know, 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, and they're being told what to do on rocket ships by people that are 80 and 90 years old and are afraid to, you know, touch the mouse on the computer. Yeah. not very logical. So that's why I say, you know, you've got this. Oh, quick thing to think about. I grew up wanting to be a solo sailing person who was doing solo-handed races around the world. Okay, when you're 1,000 miles out to sea, there ain't no tow truck to call and be there in 10 minutes. There ain't no police. The Coast Guard ain't just going to show up. You might be there for weeks. So you think more logically about what to do and what to take. Most people that travel with me have always said that I'm just an absolutely wonderful person to travel with because I always seem to have what I need to have to take care of wherever I'm at and whatever I'm doing and wherever I'm going. Even when the shit hits the fan, I still somehow always seem to have an answer. And not just an answer, but an actual solution. I fix things. I take care of stuff. I've got so much knowledge up here packed in, not because I sat in a university learning it, because I picked up books of different subjects and I related information between them and I took challenging opinions of stuff and put it together and did my own thinking with it. Okay? So I grew up learning how to survive. Okay? Oh, yes. Because the United States government and I are at war, I am a man without a country, basically. Therefore, I'm going to be defending all countries equally. And yes, First Nations are understood as invaded countries by me. Okay? So, First Nations had better be allowed to step up and take control of all the people that are giving them shit about it. I mean, whether it's up there in Canada and the indigenous people getting shoved around and the women are being sold off into prostitution, or America where they're all kept in prison camps, or the Amazon where they're getting run over and bulldozed and, you know, stuff like that. You folks get your stuff together. Those are human beings. They have just as much right as you, and you've been trampling their ground, and it's pretty obvious the planet is very messed up because of what you did. So the indigenous people are going to be stepping forward too, into whatever happens and how it goes, as far as anything I have planned, okay? Yeah. Oh, last comment. Hopefully I got, let's see, do I have time to get this in? I don't know.